What's up? It's Tom back again, relaying the breaking news from Ken Rosenthal from The Athletic that the Minnesota Twins are expected to keep Byron Buxton, Joe Ryan, and Pablo López entering 2026. Now, plans can change, of course, but as I discussed in the last video I published earlier today, I had a half day of PTO today, so I had some time to just sort of watch the baseball news roll in, and I have some extra time to talk baseball. But as I talked about in that Joe Ryan video, it kind of seemed to me like, based on the reported asking price, the Twins weren't really all that motivated, I'd put it, to move Joe Ryan, and they seemed like they were asking for a pretty hefty price back for him, and that led me to believe that maybe he wouldn't get traded. Not that the Twins wouldn't trade or wouldn't talk trades involving Joe Ryan. I still expect them to at least talk about trades regarding Ryan and López. Of course, Byron Buxton, with his no-trade clause, he's in control of that situation. And the vibe we've been getting the whole time is that if the Twins hold on to their veterans, if the Twins hold on to Joe Ryan and Pablo López, Byron Buxton is going to continue to want to be a Twin, like he talked about at the All-Star game. So, it's not a slam dunk that these guys are going to stay. I talked about in that video too, like there is some baseball reasoning to potentially dangling Joe Ryan out of the market. But as of now, sounds like the Twins are keeping everyone. Huge news. And that they have some mild flexibility in the payroll, is how Rosenthal put it. And he had an assist from Dan Hayes on that article. Go check out The Athletic. They do so much good work, Dan and Aaron, but then obviously Ken Rosenthal, one of the best reporters in the business. Want to urge you to subscribe to them. But this is obviously really positive news. I still think the Twins have an avenue to compete, especially considering that they're in the AL Central. That's sort of the asterisk you have to put on there. No disrespect to Detroit or Cleveland or anybody else. It's not like it's a shoo-in that if the Twins can make a push, they can win the division or anything. Far from that. But they have a good foundation, and there's a lot of discussion lately on the Twins' Fangraphs projection of 82 and 80. I think that's a good representation at this point in the offseason, more so that this team isn't hopeless. Nobody really wants to go 82 and 80. You're basically like one of the best teams to not make the playoffs. That's like one of the worst outcomes you can have, really, because you don't get the benefit of higher draft picks, and you also didn't make the playoffs. So it's like nobody wants to do that. So the Twins got to go one direction or the other, and it sounds like they have potentially some room to go up. Why is this all changing? My assumption is the Twins have assurance that their new minority partners, or whatever they're calling it, are going to be approved. And my guess is that hearing this news that the Twins are keeping all these players means we're going to be hearing who those minority owners are in short order. It might be another month or so still, might be weeks, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. But I have a feeling this news means the Twins have assurance that those minority owners are getting approved. Obviously, nobody wants the Pohlads to stick around at this point for good reason. But maybe there's hope of whoever these people are. I think it's two different groups or people, two different entities, we'll put it that way, since we don't really know too many details about them. Maybe there's hope that these people could be the future full owners of the Twins, and they could continue to buy more of the team from the Pohlads and get them to divest in the team or completely sell it to them. We'll see. So it's not that difficult for me to envision the Twins being a competitive team. And then, you know what? We've thought this the past two seasons, and if it happens again that they fail to compete, these guys are going to be valuable at the trade deadline. Obviously, the Buxton situation with his no trade clause makes things kind of complicated. But Joe Ryan, people are going to want Joe Ryan at the trade deadline. People are going to want Pablo López at the trade deadline. So because to be honest, if things continue to not work, they do have to consider taking a different direction at some point. So it's giving this group another shot, and there are exciting young players that are coming up as well that are going to change the course of this organization as well, similar to what we saw from Luke Keeschel in his kind of limited time last season. So I'm really excited about this. Apologies for the different setup. I didn't have time to reset up all my stuff and prepare a deck for this one. So just going with the total widescreen, cheapo mic. Hopefully this turned out okay. But I appreciate you tuning in. And obviously this changes the conversation a lot on the past couple videos that I've put out. And I'll try to get something out before too long of a pivot of, okay, now that we are expecting this to be the course, here's what I think should be next. And that should be a much, much more fun conversation than potentially talking about things like trading Byron Buxton, which is just heartbreaking to even consider. So thanks for checking this one out. I appreciate you. We'll talk again soon.